So, Shri Anjali Pandey ji, 9 years of experience at 26 years of age. How is this possible? आप वही है जो कॉर्पोरेट वाले लिखते हैं we need 10 years of experience at 20 years of age.
बराबर, एकदम बराबर.
Right. So
You
how
got
did this
it right.
happen? I mean, when did you start?
I started around 2016,
Mm-hmm.
but with no expectation. जैसे बस चालू कर दिया था सिखाना. कहाँ से आया? Maybe through surroundings, through my family, through my parents. But just happened. Didn't think of it. I didn't want it to do this. Wasn't a part of my plan. It just happened. Yeah.
Okay, so it was because of the environment you got the push.
Mm-hmm.
So you started the yoga?
No. That was not the first thing I started with.
All right.
Yeah.
So you got inclined to
I was first into dancing. Yeah.
what kind of dancing?
So I'm trained in jazz, ballet, and contemporary.
Okay. And how did the switch happen?
So interestingly, when I was dancing, I was teaching yoga right at that time onwards itself. So there was no switch. They were parallelly going through it. Yeah. And initially it was more about just teaching flexibility classes. So I wouldn't call it yoga, but just like teaching physical aspect of the bit, trying to get people flexible, trying to help them achieve it through certain tips, classes, sessions like that.
So you have been doing yoga before that, or did you learn from some guru, or how was it like?
So I eventually did happen to go to a proper place and get my education and certification. But before that, it was honestly, it's such a faint memory. I don't really know where the actual starting point came from because no one practices asana aspect in my family.
Okay.
No one has ever, I mean, not that I've seen, besides watching Baba Ramdev on TV and following them. That's something that has been going on. But besides that, I don't really remember the start point from where it actually initiated or where it started from or who taught me.
Okay.
But it just
came naturally.
Yeah, it just happened. It's like that's something I realize is I have very faint memory of past first 15 years of my life. So what I remember is I'm teaching yoga, and that's my source of it. It's disappointing as it sounds of the start of the story, but that is what it is. All I remember is just started teaching physical aspect of it because I had spent a lot of time on my own body, and it was just through different sources. Back then, YouTube was not a big thing. So you would just try different things on yourself and then figure out eventually. And then you'd figure out 2 to 2. Then you're sharing what the 4 is and how you got the 2 and 2. So that's how I think it started. And yeah, it just took on from there.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned eventually you went out to have some education.
Yeah.
When was this?
2019.
Okay.
Yes.
And where was this?
This was in Mysore. This is an institute called as Yoga Darshanam. So that's where I got my teacher training certification from. And yeah, it was a month-long duration where for the first time in my life, I stepped outside by myself alone, spent the whole month with such a vibrant energy of people who all want the same thing as you and something that you don't get to see often in your city life in Mumbai. So Mysore was my first place where I went for. Yeah.
Okay. So before going to Mysore, yoga, and after getting your TTC yoga, what changed? What was the concept then, back then, and after doing your TTC?
The reality is that I did the certification so that I could start teaching because I wanted to make money. And before that, I was just doing it because it just came through my way. It wasn't a part of my profession, but I liked dancing a little too much and I didn't want it to earn out of dancing. So I decided that I'm good at teaching this, so let me monetize this aspect of it. And that is how it began. Like that was the agenda behind going through getting the certification. And also it made sense back then that if I'm teaching, I should have basic certifications to make my teachings justifiable, because why would anyone want to learn from me besides any other reason but a certification? Back then, that's what was the case. So it started with that agenda that, this will be my source of income and I will continue pursuing my passion that I want.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Great. So I want to know more about what you learned in TTC.
Hmm.
Right. Apart from just the physical aspect of it, what other aspect intrigued you,
Hmm.
and how did that transition happen?
So I remember this one incident very, very beautifully from my teacher training course. There was this, so we would have morning practice sessions, evening practice sessions, and after evening practice session, we would have different activities, like some different kind of meditation would be introduced, some different philosophy would be introduced. The whole afternoon would be full of philosophies, which was very hard for me to capture because I'm a very slow learner. For me, it takes time. Like if you start talking, if you talk about a subject, from there I start processing that, and then I buffer on the later you spoke. I will take time to come back to what you're speaking later because I'm a slow learner. So for me to sit still and listen to philosophy was challenging because I had to first process what they said. For me, I took 2-3 years to process what I learned in that 1 month.
Okay.
So it took me really long time. So there was this one particular practice that we did, which was a chant bathing. I don't know if that is what it is, but that's how I like to remember it. I call it the chant bathing, where we were 22 people sitting in a circle.
Okay.
It was a dark room, and all of us were chanting Om sound. And all of us were chanting Om sound not together, but just in our own pace. And in this between, our teacher had the energy held with him, and one person would go and sit in the center. Everyone's pushing their energy to that person, and then that person comes up, sits, taps the other person, they go. In the whole process, the eyes are shut completely. It's a black room, and this went for 1 hour.
Okay.
Back then, I was not used to sitting for 1 hour straight, but the energy was so dense that once it was done, we all felt something, but we're new to this. We don't understand what happened, what just happened. But all I remember is after that day, 1 week, I couldn't sleep.
Okay.
I couldn't sleep, and I was not even 1% tired. Someone had put some kind of fuel inside my system that I was so alive. Also, because it's such high energy that my body was not used to. I have goosebumps as I tell you about it. My body was not used to such kind of energy exchange or such kind of experience. I was just very confused, and I went to my teacher and was like, what is happening? What did you make us do? Why am I not able to sleep? Because I'm a very peaceful sleeper. I like my sleep. I like to wake up. And he's like, are you having trouble through the day? I was like, no. Are you feeling drowsy through the day? I was like, no. Are you feeling any kind of disturbance, pain? I was like, no, I'm completely fine and fresh. He was like, then what's the problem? You got some extra hours that people don't get. And I'm like, okay, that's when I realized that, cool. The rest of the bit, there was so much more to progress, but this was an experience that I cannot forget. Like, it was the experience that made me actually introduced to the world of energy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And did this experience ever happen again when you completed your TTC in this past 5-6 years? Has this ever happened again?
Not with that intensity. Never with that intensity that I felt. Of course, with different perspective, different way on a smaller, but also because I think that was the first time my body was face to face with something like that. Now it's an introduced concept, so it has a subtle way to rub over me or make me feel a certain way. But back then, that was like a first time the gate has opened for you. You know, you're just in a euphoric state. So yeah.
Amazing. And do you also believe that because of the collectivity at that point, it really helped?
Absolutely. Had it been 2 or 5 people, it wouldn't have the same impact. Like the vibrations of 22 people sitting and chanting together repetitively, you're tired, your lungs are tired, your back is tired, but the energy is so high that it's lifting you. You're sitting up so tall. No, it could have been only possible with that bunch of people who were with the same purpose there. And because everyone's getting cleansed in the center, like everyone's giving their energy, it's not just yours, right? So many people giving you that energy, you're being led in that direction. So yeah.
Beautiful. And this experience and the philosophy that you learned there, did it change your practice? Did it change the way you approach your practice, your hatha yoga?
So when we were there, we were taught a little diluted version of practice, physical asana practice. So I didn't back then understood what is hatha yoga, or for me, it was all very cocktail mixture because a lot of people said that, okay, they teach you diluted version there, they teach you mixed practices. For me, I was just like, whatever the quality or level of practice they are offering me, for me, I'm just a clean slate. For me, anything is everything at this point, right? So all I did is whatever they taught me, I just kept repeating the practice rather than having to analyze. Like now, if someone's like, should I go back to that place? It's like, please do your research and make your call depending on what you decided. Back then, that place was more financially suitable for me, and that's why I chose it. So that was my inclination towards why I chose it. But it is who I am because of the small introductions I've made through these different practices, right? So when I came back, the practice was way more drafted in a certain direction than just randomly doing anything that comes to your mind.
Right.
So once you do something, say for 5 days, next 10 days it's going to repeat in your mind. So you can do it in the most disciplined manner. And for me, the moment I got done for that, I came back, I tried teaching, and lockdown happened. So I had the most amazing time exploring that practice and going beyond and further than whatever I had in through that energy. So I think that's the best thing that could have happened to me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
While we were talking about this, we forgot the most important question. Let's assume the viewers don't know what yoga is. So how would you define yoga?
Well, I would say it's a very cliche line there. People say yoga is union, yoga is everything. For me, yoga is just a way of living life, right? It's just how you see things, how you perceive them, how you respond to them. That is just a way of life. Like, can you name the way of life any way better? I would say it's yoga. It's the way you embody yourself, the way you want to sail through the journey. For me, yoga is that. It is the thoughts, the ideas, and the philosophy behind that nourishes you and brings you to where you are today. So yoga is that kind of union that feeds to my system for my body. So I've always just went with yoga is a part of my life. It's just the way I live. It's the way I feel. And not the perfect, I'm not the perfect, but I try to find my small version of it from the big pool that is out there. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think this definition would change, let's say, after 15 years of practice? Or is it going to be the same?
I think it definitely can get more refined and more deep with a bit more of guidance, a bit more of, I would say, if I get under the guidance of another guru or another teacher. So right now, I'm not seeking a particular guru, not seeking a particular. For me, I'm right now trying to process things that have been already thrown to me through the universe, through different teachers. So I believe there's always a room of finding more depth. There's always a room of finding and brushing through the surface more. But does that make me feel unsettled here today? No. I'm very content with what I feel today. But if there's something that in future comes and gives me a little more touch to this, I would like to find more refinement in it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned about a guru. For the viewers, tell us, what role does a guru play, and why does one need a guru in order to get better in terms of their practice and realization?
So guru is one word that has been very diluted nowadays it's interchangeably very easily used as teacher and everything. But guru is actually just the word guru. There is no synonym for guru. There is no other word for guru, because we say that guru is the one who shows you the light. Guru is the one who will bring you to the path. Now you choose the path, you take it, you walk back from it, is your journey. He will never drag you and spoon feed you till the end. Your guru will show you the light, will show you the direction. Now, for your journey beyond that is how you try to unfold from there. So your guru is the one who brings you to the light.
And at this point of time, do you feel you need one?
I think Mother Nature is my guru. I think right now, we all have different embodiments of guru, right? So I feel the inner me is at this point trying to process everything that I've already received from my previous guru, and I'm trying to every day break it down and process it. it's not necessary that you need to have an embodiment of a person to constantly guide you. I always love to learn, so I go to different teachers, try to receive as much as I can. But at this point of time, I'm just trying to find a way and let things come to me eventually, rather than chasing something. I just want to be where I am and let the universe bring things to me. And I know in the right time things will happen.
So we also have this essence of Guru. We say that we have the Guru Tattva who
Yes.
directs us to that direction.
Mhm.
We also call it the intuition.
Mhm.
And over a period of time, let's say with the rise of social media, with the rise of tech, one thing that has happened is our intuitions have gone down,
Mhm.
and we are not able to access that. We're not able to listen to it. Even if we know that intuition is always right, we're not able to access it.
Mhm.
What do you think will actually help us believe in our intuition and access that Guru Tattva from her, which is inside our body? And how can people, let's say, get 1% better at it at this point?
I think I'll try to put it little as simply as I can. What I believe is the Guru Tattva that we have is something which is not very easily tappable by everyone. Like, it can be easily diluted by you thinking that, oh, I want this, oh, I need this. There's blurred lines because it's your own world, it's your own inner world. But a lot of people, when they're trying to find purpose in life, trying to find purpose in life, I think one of the best and the biggest and the first purpose that should be is to find in comfort being yourself. Finding that comfort of being yourself. With all the social media, all the technology, if you were to be in this place, like imagine the place we are in right now, no internet for 3-4 days, who would you be? Like, what would you do that time? Once you start zoning in that much and start disconnecting for seconds in a day, like try practicing that. This is my way of approaching that aspect. If I try to disconnect myself every now and then, which is not easy, we are living in one social life. I am a big part of it. I'm myself very social. So I try my best to, keep asking myself, who am I? And it's not an answer easy to get one, right? And when I sit with that person, that time I try to listen to my intuition. That time I try to listen to what's coming from inside. Not the time when I'm outside, hanging out with people, chilling and everything. That is just my observation. That is just my realization. That is just my, hint. But that I would not call it intuition all the time. Of course, once you start feeling one with yourself, then you can relate to it. Intuition is a word. We can play a lot with words. So that's there. But yeah, this is what comes to my mind when you ask me that question. Like, how can we blur out from that state and find our own self and know whether, we say that you're cutting slack. And then I'm like, oh, I'm trying to be easy on myself. And then someone is like, oh no, maybe this is what I want. And it's like, oh, maybe this is what I need. There's so much blurred lines here. I want, I need, I deserve, all of these just have gotten slow blurred these days. Then they're interchangeably used, left, right, center, left, right, center. So intuition as a thing is something that is very solid. There's something very solid. Once you actually start putting more focus to yourself, you will know that's your intuition. You wouldn't need a person to tell you this is your intuition. No one can tell what is your intuition but you. Correct. So that is only when you defocus, tune in. So that's my attempt. I'm trying every day to do that. Hopefully.
So the first step is defocus.
Defocus.
Right?
Yeah.
Disconnect from what is actually keeping you disconnected. And then focus and maybe write your thoughts down. Does that help?
Yes. Journaling and just putting yourself around the elements of nature. When you are disconnected, the first step when you do defocus, when you disconnect and put yourself in nature, the elements that are in you, within you, and that is where you're surrounded with. Both the things, when they become in one harmony, your thoughts will flow freely. You will know what you feel like. whatever imbalances you have, if be it your fire element, be it your earth element, be it all the elements, you will find those balances in nature. That's why we feel so good when we are in the nature, right? So that's the best, I would say, free room that you can get. You don't have to pay for it. Just go there and just embrace yourself in nature. And I mean, that's the biggest door you need. Open, go out, enjoy, and you spend time with yourself and journal yourself. There are different tools. People like to try to close their eyes and just sit and have that inner talk conversation with themselves. Write their thoughts down. Now voice note their thoughts down. Listen to them different ways. So, but yeah, I prefer the writing way.
Amazing. Just like you mentioned, how getting closer to nature would definitely help. Did this also generate the idea of retreats, or was it something else? What brought you here from just teaching yoga to now also doing retreats? How was the transition like? What intrigued you?
Um, because I majorly have been teaching a lot online. It's been a big part of being on screens. And to actually practice what I also want to embody or promote, I like being in nature. I mean, I chose an online way of working so I can go out and be in nature and still be there for my students. But for them, it's not that way. This retreat is just an opportunity, a way of connecting all those people, like-minded people together. And I think for me, it's more of a curiosity in the first place that the place like this, like when I came to this property, when I started exploring travel, I realized how much in abundance I felt empowered. How much I shaped myself as a person. The way I'm talking to you today was not the case before lockdown. The way my thoughts are shaped right now was not the case before my travel journey. The way I met people, the much I learned from meeting people and listening to them, just sharing and listening to their part of story made me so much more than who I was just by my story. I felt this is something that people don't realize. You go out on travels with your family, go out on travels with your friend, but you will never have that time which you can get from a stranger's story and their part of success or their part of graph that they went through the story, and how that empowers you, and how the equation of nature, people, like-minded community empowers you. This has something been on my mind for years. Hosting this retreat has been on the charts for 3 years now. But it finally happened because I told myself I would host one after I've attended and become a student myself for the longest. I had slowly started losing that student in me. So I was trying to find myself back first before I start offering and pouring into other people's cup. So that is where the idea came from, to let people realize that there are way much more things beyond that four walls of room that they are in, and where we connect usually.
Amazing. It's amazing how 3 years back, let's say 4 years back, 3 years back, you got the idea of, yes, I want to do it, and you were so adamant about it that you did travel for 2-3 years, and now you have started with your own retreats. I think it shows how much of a clarity comes with your daily practice, because usually what also happens is, let's say one day we believe or we put our mind to something that we want to do, and the next day it vanishes, although that might be the right thing that we wanted to do, but next day it vanishes. Second day something else comes up in the mind. Third day it vanishes. Does this also happen to you, or are there any tools that you use to stay adamant about something and actually make that thought happen?
So I'm a very hyperactive person in my personality, right? People have this notion that, oh, yoga teachers being all zen, being all calm. I have chain and pools of thoughts at a go. I want to do 20 million things at a time, right? So I have this one simple thought behind all the thoughts that have been going over. I would have tried 10 different things. I want to learn this, I want to learn that, all of that. But after years of doing so much monkeying around, now when I have 10 pools of thought, I sit for a week with them, and whichever stays with me by the end of that week, I tell myself, if it didn't come across to your mind, beyond this week, that means it's not a part for your purpose.
Hmm.
And if it's in your mind throughout that week, that means it's always a part of your blueprint. That's why it's with you. If you are thinking about it still, we have this philosophy, I like something, ek mahine baad bhi mujhe wo cheez pasand aa rahi hai, so I will purchase it. Like, people have this way of looking at things, right? So right now I've started filtering those thoughts in that manner, that even though I have I have started accepting there's no harm in being hyperactive and indistinctive of the nature of what a yoga teacher generally looks like to people. I've realized that I can be fine with being myself, but I need to find tools to niche it down rather than burning my energy in different places. So I tell myself, it's a part of your blueprint if it's still in your mind.
Hmm.
If it's meant to be for you, it will run through you. And if you're passionate about it, you will seize the opportunity. You will take that calling. You'll answer it. So yeah, I give it a week's time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Again, not deviating, but coming back to the question of yoga.
Mhm.
While we are discussing about it, when we say yes, it is definitely a way of life. In a textbook format, we do have these four forms of yoga, right? There are these 4 forms of yoga
Mhm.
that you have to imbibe in your daily life,
Mhm.
and it starts to feel like, yes, we are living a yogi life.
Mhm.
Would you want to put some light on it? What are the 4 different forms of yoga, and how does it actually help in, let's say, living a yogic life?
So we say forms, but there are segments to yoga,
Mhm.
right? Yoga is a big umbrella, like our Ashtanga umbrella. The whole big umbrella has 8 limbs.
Right.
Yeah, there are 8 limbs, but these limbs are the way of you trying to encourage yourself to get more data, more knowledge about the world you want to be in.
Mhm.
If you are a fresh person entering into the world, you've been also told that you start with asana, one of the 8 limbs. There are asana, there's pranayam, there's dhyan, there's pratyahara, there's yama, there's niyama. So there are 8 bits of it. But with the current lifestyle, majority of us focus on asanas, pranayam. Okay, so asanas is all that you do in a physical level, physical embodiment that you want to attain for the real purpose of trying to be able to sit still. Pranayam is again regulating your breath in a certain way, certain techniques. So you can again go and sit still to find that extreme end that you are aiming for, right? People call it moksha, people call it samadhi. The rest of it, what you have is set rules. Okay, this is how things are supposed to be. This is what, if you want to attain here, this is how they go for. Now, if you are comfortable with first 2, that's when people go outside and start diving. Like, if you start enjoying a particular subject, you will eventually start digging more deeper into it, right? So that's why people are all blurred with the concept that, oh, yoga means fancy poses, oh, yoga means, because that's what's visible to the eyes. Beyond everything is internal. Beyond your asanas and pranayam, everything is internal. You can only see what I am wearing. You cannot see what I'm feeling. You cannot see what's happening inside. So once you dive deep into topic, that's when a teacher will guide you through more. Whenever you go for a teacher training course or another course, they will give you all theory. But that is just theory there. How does it actually come into purpose? How do you bring light into all these aspects, 8 limbs? You call it 8 limbs. This is the Ashtanga version of it. In Hatha, they will have a different approach to it. But end of the day, what I take out of all of this is, once you show interest, you slowly, for me, like I said, philosophy is a complex topic. Philosophy is something that I'm trying to put my nail tip slightly, then slowly my toes, and slightly. So whenever there is something related to philosophy, I take one aspect. I take one aspect at a time. I let it sit through me. I let it imbibed in me, see if it's possible in this generation. If this is capable and followable in this generation, and then I move to the next one. Certain things were for back in the generation when the scriptures were written, back in the generation. Certain things are just very evolved at this point. It's your purpose, your choice, whether you want to find that balance or whether you want to be in a proper traditional manner and go all head to toe about it. But theory is an aspect where you actually become deeper beyond your practice. Like initially, I still remember my practice was all about asanas. I would feel a sense of achievement only if I did asanas, and that's where I called it practice. Nowadays, all I want to do is just go there, sit on the mat, just sit on the mat and do nothing, and then I come out and I feel achieved. So that difference comes when you actually tame your monkey mind, which is through asanas and pranayama. Then you dive into the other limbs of the yoga world. But if you really want to dive into all these limbs, you need to find a teacher to guide you beyond the scriptures, beyond the books. You need a person to, and also it is not just a random teacher. This person needs to actually be a part of your journey. That is how you can get better. Like for me, when Bhagavad Gita was, like we all are surrounded by Bhagavad Gita, right? We all have, at least in my house, we have a Bhagavad Gita next to our bed. But for me, being into a Hindu family, I've been told a lot of stories, read through it. But the calling to open that book was never from my side, because I knew this book is something that I want someone to break it through me. Like I want someone to explain me. And I also realized when I started attending my first Bhagavad Gita session that every time you read it, it's going to be a different meaning. Every time you read it, it's going to be a different interpretation. And the teacher who is explaining you is their interpretation. So there is no end to your diving into philosophy, into theory. So yeah, into the world of yoga, in any world, there is no end to the theory world. But how can you sail through it is something that you have to figure. I'm still figuring.
Amazing. And for this to happen, we really need some authentic teachers to be out there in order to guide you.
Yeah.
Which is slowly declining, and maybe in some part there's an increase as well. But I really hope each and everyone gets a guru, so that we get a good guidance, and at each point of time we get good experiences, so that we keep on going further. And I really hope you get better in terms of your philosophy as well as you're striving through it. Anything, let's say this might be the end of our conversation, but anything that you want to mention before, let's say, to the audience, what your learnings have been, and what are some of the things that you still want to do, and what are some basic things that people can start doing in order to get into yoga?
We'll start with the last question I remember with. Yes. Yoga is something that has very preconceived notions, especially in India. A lot of preconceived notions for everyone. Who some people have positives, but some people have non-existential notions towards it, like not interested. My point is that whenever you decide that you want to try yoga in your life, try to just go with an approach that you will at least not stop at the first teacher. Never stop at your first teacher. If you really find that energy exchange and you continue staying with that first teacher, perfect. But if you felt like, oh, this is not what you want, please go and try other teacher. Before you make a conclusion that this is not for you. You don't know majority of the times what's for you up until it's in your life. So you have to bring it to your life to actually let it through. So this is where we go wrong majority of the time. So we went to a person, we did not resonate with that person, and we declared that yoga is not for us. And that's where majority of the people are right now. And that is my biggest request and suggestion to everyone who is trying to dive into the world of yoga. Make sure to give it at least a few chances before you make an assumption. And there is no rush. There is no rush to achieve anything. So make it your journey. You want to be fancy about postures, go for it. You want to be fancy about a particular thing, go for it. You will find your way. Don't try to just be there already when you're at the start of the road. Don't anticipate that, oh, I want to reach at the end of the road. Why am I not there yet? Why am I not there? You're here, walk through it. It will be there. what I've learned every time I try to just open myself and just try to sit and reflect onto everything that I learned, I realize how less I know things, how much less I know every passing day. It only humbles me, does not push me down in a way that, oh, why are we doing this podcast? I feel, oh, I barely know things. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to sail through the life, right? But the idea of realizing that you don't have to know it all and still not demeaning yourself because you don't know it all is something that I'm learning every passing day. Even in this retreat, that is what I felt, that I have so much to learn, but I'm here because I'm ready for it. I'm here because the nature has surrounded me in that space. So if you're here, if you are thinking that should you do it, you're here because you're ready for it. That is what I have learned, and I always tell myself that learning will not stop. So you don't have to feel the burden of knowing it all. Eventually, it will happen. Yeah.
Only when you're a good student, you can be a good teacher.
Yes. Yes.
Right? Amazing, Anjali. Thanks for your time, and
Thank you so
I hope
much.
you just keep inspiring people. You amplify your values to the world,
Thank you so
and
much.
keep nurturing people to be better yogis.
Thank you so much. It's
Right.
very sweet sharing a hearty conversation with you. It means a lot.